Welcome to the warm-up show on the beautiful Thursday night, January 5th, 2023. This is a co-host directly from the beautiful country of Thailand, Coach Frenchie. And we have to go all the way to find our co-host, Toronto down, Ontario, Mr. ENORTAP, back in the house tonight.
Hello, Coach. Hello, Hockey Nation. We're ready for the big game tonight.
Yeah, I have something. The World Junior Championship, one game is done. The last game of the tournament, 2023, is going to be start in next hour. That's the reason we start early tonight, because you have 10 games in NHL. We want to talk about a couple of news, not a really busy, big news around the league, just a normal day. But I think, honestly, the focus of most the Canadian and American are going to watching the game tonight, the final between the Team Canada versus Team Czechia, where I think they are really they maybe been the best team in this tournament so far, with really a lot of veterans returning at the World Junior Championship. Definitely we're going to talk about this. We're going to review the game happening last night. Only 3 games in NHL. Surprise one game, honestly, at the late last night. Talk about this game differently. And a couple of things around the Montreal Canadiens already. They play tonight again the New York Rangers. They are back home in January. They play 14 games. Honestly, already one over. And they play the 14 game. They play, I think, a total of 11 or 10 at home. So it'll be a little bit more easier for them. Jerry obviously is going to respond after last fifth of the straight now. And they are 1-8-1 the last 10 games. So a lot of work to do for Martin Saint-Louis for his players. But first of all, I want to welcome everybody. And that's the most important thing. Without them, this show is not going to work. And we have to welcome Mr. Ran Cook. Knock the door.
Hello, Ryan. Welcome.
Our friend from Taiwan, Jeffrey Curry, back in the house.
How's it going, Jeffrey?
And the number one fans of the Boston Bruins back, Mr. Stu Pilazo.
Welcome, Stu.
And Double J from downtown Toronto, your neighbor. Welcome back. You're a little bit lucky.
Double J, how's it going?
Why do you think he's lucky, Mr. Natap?
Oh, well, look at the record. You know.
Yeah.
You know why.
Yeah. And the rules is what for the from Deloitte Smith verification. Rules said about, I think, a 6-point article C annex B or something like that. I'm always confusing with so many rules we have. If you don't play over 4 games in NHL, nobody can go to jail, right?
Exactly.
And then if you have a 3 record or a 2-1, you can go to the bus.
Yes.
And that's happening last night. We have a lot of people. Nobody got 3-0, if I can recall it.
No. Well, how are you going to get 3-0 with that Anaheim game?
Yeah, but everybody got that one. So you're not you'll be the only one about that. But exactly. So why not to bring people already, Mr. Natap and the boss, ENORTAP, Yamo, Fernando, Jose, Randy, and D. Bengal, Peter, August are 2-1. And I think I am 2-1. I forgot to put my name. That's a good thing about that.
Oh, no, Coach.
But it's okay.
You copied me, remember?
It's okay, not big deal. But let's bring everybody in the bus already, Mr. ENORTAP. There'll be great things about. I just tried to find the bus. I look like I lost the bus, Mr. Oh, I found the bus.
Okay.
Here we go. We are back live about this. We talk about Mr. Luciano Graziano, moderator, back in the house, Mr. ENORTAP.
Hey, Luciano. Coach, we're going to bring the whole Team Canada on the bus with us tonight.
Yeah, we'll be interesting what's happening with Team Canada tonight for sure. Luciano is going to be. You have the puck, Team Canada.
Bring it home, baby. Bring it home.
Here we go. We'll be interesting. William McClary, Mr. Tap, knock the door.
Hey, William, how's it going?
That's pretty much what we have, Mr. Tap, already. Early because the show start early, but maybe the people don't pick it up right away. But maybe see if some people are going to pop up. But first of all, we want to invite everybody if you want to participate to the prediction. This is the email to send to us. Mr. Tap does a great job to give you all the result the next day, like you can see at the top of this screen or your phone, maybe your desktop or your laptop. That's what you see, all the result, because it's coming from Mr. ENORTAP, and that's what happening. But Mr. ENORTAP, like we do at the beginning of the show, we're always talking about what pay your attention.
Well, yesterday, not too many surprises in terms of the three games that were played. I thought it was a very convincing win from Minnesota, who I thought at the time, they would have a tough time with Tampa Bay, but they were at home and they have slowly been improving. So they're definitely in this race and they're there to stay. The big game for me too was New Jersey sending a very strong message that that losing streak's not going to stick around with them. They came out very, very strong. Where it's difficult to win in Detroit on any given night, but especially when you have Detroit also that's trying to push forward, and they came out with a convincing five. That was the amazing thing. Dallas, maybe we know about because they were on a back to back. Those West Coast trips are always very tough, especially the second game of the back to back. So I'm not overly surprised, but I just thought that they'd be able to handle Anaheim, who hasn't been scoring very much, and they've been allowing a ton of goals. So here we are.
Yeah, it was like to score 5-1, if I can remember. And,
Yeah,
you know,
2-0.
yeah, exactly. Detroit still tried to figure out what's going on over there. And then Anaheim was a shocking night for me. I think that Anaheim, one player we don't talk a lot is Mason McDavid. Now is at 22 points,
McTavish
5 points behind Mathieu Bernier for the Calder
scoring
Trophy
lead
rookie.
rookie.
And you
Yeah,
cannot pick it up. He played center yesterday for the first time, so it was good for him. For McDavid and John Gibson, guys. Gibson, wow, what a what a performance yesterday. 35 shot he stopped yesterday. That's the reason we're going to put the star of the night, Mr. Cam Addison, the rookie for the Minnesota Wild. 1 goal, 2 assists, 3 points. Kaprizov again, 2 goals for the Minnesota Wild. Beat the Tampa Bay Lightning. Gibson, a shootout for the Anaheim Ducks is really happening yesterday. And but 10 game of the night will be interesting. What happening? We have a few people knock the door. Mr. Vinny James 007 is in the house.
007, welcome.
Yeah, that's $2 point. Let it go. That's something they would like. They wish they could
Well,
not. They
4.
should win that game. That make the Central Division closer at the end of the night, for sure.
Yeah, it's really 4 if you think about it, because they should have probably had that game against LA the night before. It was a 3-2 shootout. No, it wasn't a shootout. It was in regular time, if I recall. But 4 points on the West Coast. They got to come up with at least a couple points, and they didn't. So you're right. It tightens things up a little bit.
Yep. Melissa Zabran is in the house.
Hey, Melissa.
So that would be interesting about this. Starting with the World Junior Championship. Canada play versus Czechia tonight, and then the USA won the bronze by the score 8-7. Yes, it's not a mistake from coach. It's exactly 8-7 and overtime. And maybe give us a little bit your thought about maybe both, one is preview, then the review. But I would say to you, Team Sweden last two game, the two important game, one the semifinal, and then the last the medal, the bronze medal. Both game and overtime. This is going to be very hard to come back and drive, fly back home with nothing in your hands and empty hands.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I started watching. I didn't watch the full game because I was getting back from work as well. But I saw the first period and a little bit of the second at the beginning, and I saw it was a 2-1 game at that time. Coach, I thought, it didn't look like either team really had their heart in it, and sometimes that's understandable. They lose the semifinal game to get them into the finals, and you don't have that same drive that you ordinarily would have. But credit to both teams; they came out very strong after that. I think they all decided to go for bust. That's why you see the football score there of 8-7. Had to go to overtime, even when it was 7-6 U.S. Sweden found a way to tie it up. And it was good to see Hudson score or not score, but get an assist on that tying goal or on the winning goal there in overtime as well. Because I was starting to get a little bit worried with Hudson. I didn't see. I gotta say, I didn't see a great performance out of him, especially in the last couple of games. Just for his own confidence. And tonight's game, the Canada Czech, is going to be a doozy, right? Like the only team they've lost to. So you got to believe that Canada will have some motivation to want to win this game and correct their ways. From Czechia's point of view, they know they've beaten Canada once, and they've done so on the merits of not only just some experienced players that are returning to the team, but they also have the size and they can play with Canada. So they're not going to get pushed around easily. So you got to really create space. Canada's going to have to be very, very careful because even though the U.S. game, we win that one there, and even the one before that against Slovakia, a lot of turnovers, especially defensively. And that part worries me because Czechia has the kind of players that will finish those kind of plays off and turn them into an opportunity for themselves. So it might come down to goaltending in this one here.
Yeah, Milik, it's where the Canada make some adjustment. I think the game they lost four, but they won 4-3 in overtime. The quarterfinal, right? The problem was the pressure they got in their face against Team Slovakia. They cannot respond and make the defensive players make a lot of mistake for breakout, first
Yeah.
pass, everything, and then they did very well against the USA team on this department to helping them to win and against Slovakia, we know Czechia, they have big players. Speed is great. Their forechecking is good. Their structure is really well done by them. They have a plan and they stay in the plan. Whatever the score is, they don't changing. They still believe in themselves and they know they can come back at any time. And they have everything. They have a Chirichek at that point. They have a good goaltender and they have a lot of good scorer. So they have a really well balanced. That's maybe the only team on Canada could have some kind of difficulties around, or they look like Canada on different ways. So at the end of the day, I believe it's going to be the battle between Badal versus Chirichek. I think they are the two best player in that tournament for me in my eyes. One of
Yeah.
the two best, better at least for Canada. And I think Chirichek remind me the Edmund, the Chara, the player, the dominator of the defenseman carry on that team on his shoulder and he make a big impact. So that will be two players we're going to watch tonight. But look, this is the best hockey we always to looking every single year. And I think that's the reason why um, the fans love the passion. I think for me, it's one name we forgot, and I look, like you have a lot of come back this season in NHL, right? It's been never been that way. They look like right now they are on the pace to reach 160 comeback NHL with 2 goal a plus. this year. The record is 138 in NHL. So,
Mm,
but there's been this way World Junior Championship, Mr. Natap, since the beginning. The comeback and that
true.
level and at that UH 20, U20 at below, because that's why, it's not perfectly great. That team or the player are not at their max development, right? So make a lot of mistake, and that's the beauty of that's what the tournament is all about. And this not shown this year. Look, Canada yesterday 2-0, and he had a 6 goal comeback, and they win the W. But I think for me, being in the USA since 1996, um, I see the development of hockey in USA, and that's the reason I think we forgot one name. It's AJ Radek. He's a really one works with the NHL network since the beginning, in hockey and the network TV in USA. And the reason I mention his name because he become nobody mentioned a lot him. He's really the one push the NHL and the TV NHL network to televise this tournament from the beginning to the end. And that's the reason why the hockey become more popular. If you think about Team USA yesterday, you have 2 kids from Florida, you have 1 kid from Arizona, you have 1 kid from Tennessee, and that's the reason why the Team USA become who they are, because they become more popular in USA. And now you can watch the game if you live in USA. Uh, from your TV cable, and that's a good thing about this. The secondly, I would say to you, USA did not know what it was hockey in Canada. They not know the guys pop up, where they coming from, where they play. Now you can figure out this where they are, and that's the beauty about this. And the name is now, before the tournament, nobody know about Thomas Milik. And now everybody knows about Thomas Milik because his performance. Nobody talk a lot about Juraj Lucic from the team Checha. Now you know because he's been drafted by Buffalo Sabres. So I think for me the popularity of the tournament changed the last 10, 15 years because of those NHL network. You guys in Canada have been there all the time, but now it's all around the world, and that's the beauty of that tournament now. It's more televised, it's more knowing the players, and that's the foundation of the NHL draft. Every single year. A lot of scout, a lot of people, GM, everything watching the game. It's just fun to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, it's the parity now. Like I'd say there's about 8 teams that are always in contention, and you're not surprised when you see sometimes the exit of a very good team because it's at the hands of another very good team that's you've seen the development over the years, and it's never a gimme. It used to be at one point pretty much Canada, maybe Russia, and later on you saw Finland, Sweden start getting into it. Now we're seeing, the Czech, the Slovaks as well. So it's great for hockey overall. It makes
Yeah,
it very exciting.
absolutely right. Joseph Laham is in the house, Mr. Nata from Texas. Welcome aboard.
Hey, welcome, Joseph.
There was one for the score 5-1 yesterday, Mr. Nata. Then we have Mr. Butch Bouchard. Welcome back, Roger. Thanks to be with our Canadian show.
Hey, welcome, Roger.
And then we have a
Have faith,
question.
Roger.
We have a question for
Have
William
faith.
McClary, Mr. Natap. Winnipeg just
Yeah.
got stronger with the return of Heller, Perfetti, Schmidt. Do you think they will take the Central Division?
They could very well. I like the way Winnipeg right now is comprised, and I gotta believe that they know that this is a very small window for them because a lot of things are up in the air. They have some undecided free agents and what's going to happen at the end of the year. And Hellebuck is playing at the top of his game right now. I'd put him probably at the top for the Vezina for sure. Um, I gotta believe that come trade deadline, they're gonna go for the home run. They're gonna probably get another excellent player to complement the great core that they have already and go bust.
Yep. Would be another way to see that. We have a couple of comments, and William said, one thing we're missing is really the Team Russia at the World Junior Championship. I agree with you about this one for
100%.
sure. That's a great point. So that's what we got to try to get out of for the Winnipeg. Do you believe they're going to finish first?
I I think they have a very good chance. Yeah, I do. I know they're what second right now, but uh, I haven't seen any prolonged slump from them this year. Even when Hellebuck hasn't played, which hasn't been much, they still they believe in the system. I think that Bonus has given them that belief. Bonus is a very experienced coach, and he knows how to adapt to different situations. And it doesn't matter if they fall behind or are ahead of the game, very much like you were saying about Czechia earlier. They believe in the system, they play that system, and they have some really good players on that team. And like it was mentioned in the chat, with the addition now of Ehlers coming back, it's going to solidify some of the players in the right seats on that team that have been playing either above or below where they should be right now. So yeah, I believe that they have an excellent chance of winning the division.
All right, I don't see them yet, but it would be interesting to see that for sure. Real deal knocked the door. Thanks so much, Real, to be with the Hockey National show tonight. And Yamo Vartanen, both of them are knocked the door, Mr. Nota.
Welcome, guys.
Preview game between the Montreal Canadiens and the New York Rangers tonight. Gallagher is out. Hoffman, Barron, LT scratch. And Roger asking you, will Gallagher eventually go on the long-term injury reserve?
It's hard to say. He's been so injury prone over the last 2 or 3 years. I mean, it is possible. I know he's been playing. He got injured in a game. He also he had a collision in practice with another player, and he aggravated or tweaked an old injury. It's not his hip, from what I understand.
There's a lower back.
So it's a lower back, yeah, which is just as unpredictable to guess, when he'll be 100% from that. So to answer your question, it is very possible he lands on the LTIR.
Yeah, will be interesting to follow for sure. What do you expect from Montreal tonight against the New York Rangers?
Well, it's not much, I'll be honest with you. What I'm looking for is um, is for them to put in a good fight. I think that the Rangers are at this stage they're a far more superior team. Um, they they need Montreal just needs to they know what their situation is, and they need to embrace what they're going through right now. They went through probably the toughest part of their schedule. Not that it gets any easier, because their strength of schedule for the rest of the year is ranked number one right now in the NHL. So it's going to be tough no matter how you slice and dice this. But it's important that you try to foster some positivity within the losing, and you see some development. You don't see them just you want them to enjoy being at practices. You want them to give a fair effort when they're in these games. You don't mind losing 4-3, 4-2s, even 5-3, whatever the case might be. You just don't want to see the blowouts that we're getting the last 3 or 4 games.
Yep, you're absolutely right about this. My app daily news yesterday was, this morning was the Montreal Canadiens Stavkovsky crucial deadline, Mr. Nortap. And the reason I put this, because they have a rule in NHL. First of all, you have to play 10
The 40
game
game.
for 10 game to burn your first entry level contract. It makes sense? Then
Yes.
you have to reach the number 40, 41 game to become now an earlier age UFA. So that's the reason why I put the crucial deadline for that rule for about Sarkozy. He right now at that tonight, and the next game Saturday is going to complete this that role or the deadline. Can Montreal hold this, or they said no, we cannot worry about this. We can let him go, and we can keep him in conscience about this. So this is the crucial deadline for them. But before we finish, this will be like, what do you expect him? Because inside my video, I'm talking about,
Okay.
possibility right now, return him in AHL, CHL. We know it's too late to talk about the World Junior Championship, but what do you expect for the rest of the year for him? Do you stay or not with the Montreal Canadiens?
It's hard to say. If you go by the rumblings that you're seeing, and we talked about this yesterday a little bit, because I know Darren Dreger had put out the tweet saying that it's possible that he and somebody else, one of the rookie defensemen, might land in Laval within the next week. Um, I can see why that'd be the case. Being with Montreal, though, as long as you're not just throwing him out there for 8 minutes a game, where I don't think you're going to get much development that way. You're giving him the fair time. I would say, start putting him up the line a little bit more. Give him the opportunity to play with some, a more decent centerman and a winger, so that we see what he's got. He's got to offer. At this stage, I think he's probably better suited here in Montreal.
Yeah, look like he's going to play on the second line or third line, whatever you want to call them tonight. That's a good sign for him. Until he don't play on the four line for me, and he can play about 12 minutes, I'm okay with that part over there. It's when he
Yeah,
play with
yeah,
Pesada. I make a graphic yesterday. What the best line for him, he was with it was Anderson and Jake Evans. It was funny to see that. Like, it
Evans.
was the
Yeah,
line he performed the most in the beginning of the season. And again, he's a slum like anybody else. Like, I only want his last goal December 1st. Kirby Doc, his last goal, Mr. Attack, November 12th for Kirby Doc. And I can go all the way like that. He's not the only one. You have a story about, I read yesterday about, like, a lot of people talk about him. He got killed a lot of time. He got hit very well. And then I listening Phil Bourque. Bourque played with the Pittsburgh Penguins. One Jaromir Jagr show up and he said, "Look, he was not talking about versus Sapkowski. He was talking about Jagr, how it was so difficult his first year with frustration, disappointment. At the point, sometimes he was crying on the bench because he got killed a lot of time, like hit badly." And in the fact that he was not performing the way he was supposed to performing. Let's just remember Sapkowski a lot. Yeah, I'll give you another player. Nobody talk about him. David Pastrnak when he started with the Boston Bruins. How many times he
yeah.
fouled in the corner? How he was losing his battle. I understand he's not 6'2", 6'3", and 230 pounds, whatever he is, but still, it's the way they play coming from those area and the world where they have a difficult time to adapt in their first year to play in NHL. That's just a normal
Yes,
process of
absolutely.
this.
It's
So,
very few players will come and dominate from day one once they enter the NHL. Very few.
yep.
A lot of those will be just the elite players.
Exactly. Rick Bengal is in the house. Welcome aboard. Rick, about this, we
Welcome,
at
Rick.
6 o'clock, Mr. Nata. We have 10 games to talk about tonight. And again, the rules yesterday was the jail. Nobody got the jail time yesterday. So, congratulations. We want to thank so many people. I have 2-1 yesterday. Unfortunately, we have two people, I believe, that are 0-3. And we don't want to talk about them. Be not right to do that, Mr. Nata. We are good people. So, we don't do that. We don't talk about people don't do well. We want to wish the best for Randy Walkman and as another great asset for the Hockey National Show. Prayer at that for Randy Walkman, Mr. Natap. First game of the
Yes,
night.
and also for Jose for a speedy recovery as well.
Jose Duarte,
Ah,
speedy
yes,
recovery.
of
And
course.
for Danny, we wish him a bit more warm in the garage.
Put that heater out there, Danny.
Yeah.
Oh
But
well, yeah, for sure. Um, Arizona and Philadelphia, they face off in Philadelphia tonight in a game really that pretty much features two of the league's basement dwellers. It's safe to say that this game could have some major implications on the draft lottery because it's obviously from from Montreal's perspective, one of these two teams winning is and Montreal losing would be a positive. If it goes to overtime, even better, of course. But with regards to these two teams, there's very little separating them from a statistical perspective, which makes sometimes the road team, or in this case the Coyotes, a good shot to go with. It's been disappointing for both these guys. It's the Coyotes right now. They rank 25th in goals per game, while surrendering the eighth most goals per game. And the Flyers, they rank 29th in goals per game and surrender the 14th most goals per game. So there's stats that obviously don't compliment them very much. Uh, I think this is a game that could very well go to overtime. If it looks like it's Vimelka against, I'm not sure if Hart is back yet. The last I saw,
It's
it
Velmeka
could
versus
be.
Carter Hart.
It is Carter Hart. Okay,
Yep.
so
Yep.
this will be a good goaltending battle for sure. But I'm gonna go with the home team here by a score of 4-3.
Home team, Philadelphia, right?
Yeah,
Awesome. I like it. I like it, Mr. Tap. You did the right choice. Congratulations about this one over there. And I think you pick a better score. So that's the good news about this one over there. We want to welcome a couple of people, Mr. Tap. We talk about him, the moderator, Jose Duarte, knocked the door. Sometimes with a deal, sometimes no deal. We have the real deal back in the house, Mr. Tap. And then we have Mr. KLS. Knock the door, and of course, he's in the house directly somewhere on the highway driving with his Tim Horton coffee, and between the on his hands, Mr. Dan Ogilvy is in the house, Mr. Natap. So welcome back for everybody, and that's conclude, guys, the first game of the night. And Mr. Natap, we go to the
yeah.
game number 2 of the night. The Montreal Canadiens holds the New York Rangers. That's what we got tonight.
Yeah, well, this matchup between Eastern Conference opponents is about the only thing that these teams have in common at the moment. Uh, they're trending in opposite directions as we talk at this stage in the season. The Rangers are coming off of arguably their their biggest win of the year so far. They took down the Carolina Hurricanes and ended off their 11-game winning streak. And they did it quite impressively in my eyes. Uh, they were trailing, and they came back with a couple of quick goals, and then just took control of the game. Meanwhile, Montreal, on the other hand, they've lost their sixth straight game, and it's their fifth straight by multiple scores or multiple goals. So those are not good trends to look at. You look at their last 4 games; they lost 4-1, 7-2, 9-2, and most recently 6-3. So that's what we were talking about earlier, where you like to see, we know what it is. Maybe victory isn't what our expectation is as HAB fans, but putting in the effort and at least competing on a nightly basis is an expectation that's not asking for too much. So I could get into the stats here, but the short and the long of it here is I'm going to take the Rangers by a score of 4-2.
The Rangers, Mr. Natap, 4-2.
Yeah.
All right. I will go with you, but I will take 5-2. Montreal gave a lot of gold anyway, so I will get one more goal for that one over there.
And I believe it's Shesterkin against Allen tonight.
It's Alec versus Allen.
Oh, Halak. Oh,
Yep,
wow.
yep. Start is
A
12
little
game. Mr. Natab during his career
a little
versus the Montreal
disrespect there.
Canadiens.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see how that goes.
Do you want to change your score?
Hasn't. No.
Are you sure?
Actually, maybe you should consider changing your score.
No, 5-2 because it's Alec.
Too much.
No, it's Jake Allen.
Yeah. It's Jake Allen. Jake Allen's okay.
Yeah, he won the
It's
winner
Halak
trophy,
that
the
I worry
Molson
about.
trophy for this month, Mr. Natab.
Oh boy. Next we have the
Sweet
Hurricanes.
Carolina, Mr. Natap. Sweet Carolina. Can you sing
Yeah,
a song?
Sweet Carolina. They lost their first game in regulation in 17 games
And
on
you caught it.
Tuesday. Yeah, absolutely. That streak was going to come to an end at some point, and they've been one of the best, if not the best team in the NHL since I'd say about Thanksgiving. The Hurricane have won their last 8 home games as well. So that's another streak that they have going, being at home tonight. And they have the third best home point percentage in the league with a 12-3-1 home record. Now, Carolina has the NHL's fourth best goal prevention, the best shot prevention, the second best 5-on-5 goal prevention. The strength of this team is obviously defense and goaltending, and a key driver behind all of this is is obviously, um, I would say, all three of their goalies. Now, a couple of Anderson has been hurt for quite a while now, but he's also contributed. The Predators are not a doormat. I would not classify them in that category, but they have underachieved from what we thought they might, or where they might be at this stage in the year, when we made our predictions way back at the beginning of the year. Like, they've lost 9 out of their last 13 games, and they're 2-5 in their last 7 games on the road. Now, they aren't. There aren't any parts of the Predators game that they have shown any sort of to any area of being elite. In my eyes, they rank sort of in the middle or closer to the bottom of the league in a lot of categories. Their special teams, the goals allowed, goals scored. It's kind of been disappointing, and I don't think that they're going to correct that anytime soon. I think Carolina's home streak will stay alive, and their winning streak will begin again tonight. I'm going to take the Hurricane by a score of 3-1.
Low score.
Low score, yeah.
3-1.
Saros against Kochetkov.
5-2, Mr. ENORTAP.
Okay. High score.
Yeah. Boy.
Oh, I believe Pacioretty might be playing tonight.
Yes, Pacioretty is returned in the lineup for Team
Yes.
Canada, for Carolina. I think he played on the 4 line with Kokanemi.
We'll see. You never know. It might wake up Kokanemi. You never know. Our next
Maybe.
game, Seattle
Maybe.
and Toronto. Who knows what'll wake up KK, if anything. The Kraken and Leafs will be coming into this game with sort of very different attitudes. After falling to the Oilers 7-2 recently, Seattle got their revenge and took them down 6-2 just not too long ago. The Leafs, they found themselves in a shootout against the St. Louis Blues and ultimately lost 6-5 in a shootout. So that's a little bit against the grain there for the Leafs, because they've kind of been one of the better teams in terms of um, uh, not allowing goals against. As a matter of fact, they've allowed the second fewest goals per game entering this matchup. That's where they rank, and that was a bit of a surprise, especially since St. Louis was shorthanded with some of their injuries that they've been incurred lately. It's worth noting that prior to the Blues lost, the Leafs had won 7 out of 10 games, including that impressive 7-0 win on home ice. Meanwhile, prior to the Kraken's last 2 wins, they had lost 7 out of their last 10. So we're certainly not, discounting those victories in between. But Seattle is also in the midst of a 7-game road trip or stretch right now. Um, but the key for me is the Leafs are at home. The Leafs are the better team. I think in the end, as much as Seattle is playing well lately and hanging in there in the race, I do believe that they'll drop off. So I'm going to go with Toronto to win this one, but I think it'll be close. It'll be 4-2.
4-2, Mr. Natap, for Toronto. 5-2, Mr. Natap, for me.
Okay.
5-2 for me on that one over there. Kiki is coming back on the ice. And then Nylander, some people are curious. He missed yesterday. He's back with some kind of illness, but it looked like he's back in the lineup for the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight. So it was a game decision. It looked like they are back.
Great. Well, the Blues, they stroll into New Jersey after that 6-5 shootout that we talked about against the Leafs on Tuesday night. Currently, they're sitting in 5th place in the Central. They're fighting just to stay alive for a playoff spot. And the road's going to get a little bit tougher because we know that, O'Reilly's been replaced.
Super Chat.
Super chat number 1. Super chat, Mr. One from
Super
Rick
chat.
Bengal from Halifax. Hype, Mr. Rick.
Way to
Thanks so
go,
much
Rick.
for your super chat, Mr. Sorry about that. We stopped you, but
Yeah, I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, I think I was mentioning about O'Reilly's injury. The road's going to get a little bit tougher for St. Louis because of not only that, but they also have Tarasenko and Krug also on the IR. I don't see the Blues being able to stay afloat, especially with these more long-term injuries down the road. I think at the end of the day, these guys are going to be on the outside looking in, and that's a bit disappointing given, the given what they did last year and in previous years as well. And they're going to have some free agents at the end of the year, and so we don't know. They're going to have to make some key decisions in St. Louis in terms of who stays and who goes, because you don't just want to lose some of these players to free agency and not get anything in return. The Devils, they're returning home. The ironic thing is New Jersey plays better on the road. They have an excellent road record. Their home record, if they were to convert that to the same as it is on the road, they'd probably have, if not the best, one of the best records in the NHL at this point. But I'm going to go with the home team here, which is New Jersey. I think we have Binnington against Blackwood last time I checked. So I'm going to go 4-3 for New Jersey.
4-3 New Jersey tonight, Mr. Natap. And I don't know why, Mr. Natap. I go with the same score.
4-3, yeah.
Jose said Palat is back tonight.
No, I think last time I checked, he's about a week away, is for what I heard.
Okay, but
But
from him, it looked like he's back.
He is skating. He's skating with the team, but I don't think they cleared him yet to play.
Okay. All right.
But I could be wrong.
That's because I would change my score.
I don't think so. He's going to need a few games to get back in
William Snyder back in the house, Mr. Natap.
Things. Welcome.
And Danny T back in the house, Mr. Natap.
Hey, Danny. How's it going?
Blackwood is out, Mr. Natap.
Is he?
Yeah, he got a shot.
So who's the goaltenders?
Vanecek. And then Palat is back confirmed by Yarmo, Mr. Natap.
Oh, well, that's news to me. But okay.
Mark 536 back in the house said Schmidt will back up Vanecek, Mr. Natap.
Yes.
And confirmed by him, Palat is active. We have a lot of great. We have all around the people reporter, Mr. Natap, give us all the update.
The latest updates for sure. That's great to see. Now here we have Washington and Columbus. The Capitals, they traveled to Columbus to take on the Blue Jackets. It's actually the first time that they're playing this year. Columbus has been one of the bottom dwellers in the league so far, and that trend, it's not going to change tonight, I don't think. The Capitals are slowly starting to get healthy, and they have more than enough skill in their top six to score goals. The Blue Jackets, on the other hand, are 31st in goals against per game. So, this could be a nice opportunity for Ovechkin to get a little bit closer to that Gretzky record by racking up a couple goals at least tonight. Columbus is 2-8 in their last 10 games, and have gone to overtime just once in that span. Whereas the Capitals are 7-1-2 in their last 10, and have needed to play past the 60-minute mark 4 times to get victories there. So they're in every single game, and they've done a fabulous job of staying in the mix. And now that they're getting some healthy bodies, this could be a team to contend with, I'm sure. And I will take them tonight to win as well, and for Ovechkin to have a big night. I'm going to go with a 5-2 score.
5 to score, Mr. Natap. All right. I will listen to you. I will listen to you. I will listen to you. 5-2, Mr. Natap. I feel that way. Eric Robinson is a day-to-day for the Columbus Blue Jackets, Mr. Natap. Backstrom and Wilson are close to come back with the Capitals. Muskellin is between the pipe for the Columbus versus Darcy Quimper.
Yeah, Kumper. I don't know. About that. Next, we have one of the toughest games to predict tonight. I think the Islanders and Edmonton. It's in Edmonton. They look to gain the season sweep over the Oilers. The Islanders do. These teams are skating to near identical records through their first couple of months of the season, and they've already played once this season, as I mentioned, picking up a shutout victory against the Oilers. The Islanders won against Vancouver recently. They're on this extended road trip themselves. They've actually have impressed me, because I thought this road trip would give them a lot of trouble. But they've been in every single game, and they've earned some well merited points. With the Oilers, I don't know what they're going to do. I think right now the Oilers, they know their situation, and uh, they're gonna have to rely a little bit more on Campbell to sort of come in and give them some quality games, because you can't keep throwing Skinner out there and expecting pretty much a rookie to constantly bail you out. And having said that, recently they haven't fared very well as well. So I think it's almost time to make sure you keep McDavid and Draisaitl together rather than separating them. But that's my opinion, at least until Vander Kane can come back, and then you can split the two up again. This is a tough one for me. I think it's going to be an overtime game, and I'm going to go with Edmonton, but only because they're at home. Um, I'm almost leaning more towards the Islanders, but you know what? I'm going to go Edmonton 4-3.
I don't know what to do now. You're switching on most, Mr. Natap.
Oh, it's a tough one for me to
All right.
predict.
I will
I
go
don't know.
with you, Mr. Natap. I will say 4-3.
4-3.
4-3. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think that's good. I think Edmonton did not win the last 5 game at home, something like that.
I know. So maybe that'll end in their favor
But
tonight.
if I'm wrong, I would say because of you.
Of course you will.
But that's the reality behind that. Colorado, Vancouver, Mr. ENORTAP.
Yeah, well, Colorado hasn't fared that well either lately, and well, the Canucks are the Canucks, of course. They come into this game after a 6-2 loss to the Islanders, as just mentioned earlier. They're currently sitting in sixth in the Pacific, and don't look like they'll be competing for the post season this year. That's for sure. Especially with rumors of Bo Horvat leaving, and now all of a sudden even JT Miller's complaining. So on a more positive note with the Canucks, Elias Peterson looks like his old self again this year. He's got 44 points in 35 games. But going against an Avalanche team that is desperate for a win, I expect the Canucks to struggle at home tonight. The Avalanche, they stroll into Vancouver on a 4-game losing streak after being defeated just recently by the Golden Knights 3-2 on Monday. They're fourth now in the Central. I don't think it's panic time for them because I think they're an experienced group of players that know that they sort of have to pace themselves. They'll get healthy. They'll get a few guys back like Landeskog at some point, and Byram, and Nikushkin had come back, and then he went back on the injury list, and but he should be coming back soon as well. You start getting these guys back together, and you're going to see a different Avalanche team in my eyes. And it probably starts tonight. I'm going to take Colorado to win 4-2.
Colorado 4-2, Mr. ENORTAP.
Yeah.
All right, I will go with you 4-2. I trust the master, guys. You have to trust the master. You cannot change in your mind. Go with the master.
I take no responsibility for losing.
we should.
We will offer
at the beginning of the
courses
show,
on
Mr. ENORTAP, disclaimer. About
a disclaimer. Yes, this does not reflect the podcast in any way, shape, or form.
We have to
Gamble
welcome.
responsibly.
We have to welcome back Chicago, Dan Asham, back in the house, Dan. And for people who follow our show last night, Mr. ENORTAP is the winner of the Frenchie quiz the holidays yesterday. Big win over Luc Lavorsen. And William Snyder knocked the door. William Snyder, welcome back in the house.
Welcome, guys. What do we have? Oh, Pittsburgh, of course.
Yeah, Pittsburgh, Mr. ENORTAP. I have a couple information for you for
yeah, please go.
For Pittsburgh.
Smith,
game decision for Pedersen and for them, for him. And then we have Tristan Jarry is out for this game. We expect Paul Cotter and Jack Eichel back in the lineup for Vegas, Mr. ENORTAP tonight.
Right. And so it's the Smith against Thompson. It's a cross-conference showdown between two of the better teams, obviously, in the NHL at this point. And it should be an exciting, square off between these two teams. The Penguins, they visit the Golden Knights. They're on the heels of 5 straight losses, including a rough one in the Winter Classic. That's where I think Jarry kind of got hurt. And the Smith has been okay. He hasn't been the reason why they've lost any of the games. That's for sure. It's pretty much been the defense. It's kind of fallen apart. They've had some injuries as well to contend with. So that's really what's causing Pittsburgh to spiral out of control. The Golden Knights have been playing elite defense, I think, all season long. They've allowed just 2.8 goals per game, which is the 10th lowest figure in the NHL. And Thompson has really done yeoman's work while playing in the pipe between the pipes for Vegas. Now, Pittsburgh is 4-1 in their last 5 games that they've played against Vegas, but I'm not going to trust that they continue that. I'm going to go with Vegas to win this one 4-3.
So big guy 4-3. All right. Vegas, Mr. ENORTAP, 4-3. I think right now we completely right now put Yamo in the bad spot right now. He did not know what to do anymore. because right now we are both of us together.
And he took Oh, what's Yarmo? Has he been agreeing with us?
I don't know. I asked her this question. So far, what he is, I agree or not. So I'll be interested to his answer.
Okay.
Boston, the Losing King. This is the last game of the night, I believe.
And this is the other one that I've been struggling with all day as well. It should be a great game tonight. There's not much between these teams in terms of how they've been playing lately. Uh, their other head-to-head match that they had earlier on in the year, the Kings got the better of the Bruins by a score of 3-2, but it was in a shootout. Uh, you know, there were 65 total shots between the teams in both regulation and overtime. The Kings had a narrow margin in faceoff wins, 51 to 49%. Both teams were 1-6 on their power play. So, lately both teams have won 7 out of their last 10 games and are kind of now familiar with each other, I would say, from that earlier matchup that they had. So I think it's going to be a tight checking, low scoring game. Now, just some things that I saw trending. The Kings are 5-1 in their last 6 games that they play on Thursdays. They're 5-1 in their last 6 games at home. The Kings are 23-7 in their last 30 games against an Atlantic Division team. That I found quite impressive. But the Bruins are 9-4 in their last 13 road games. So this one here, you know what? I'm going to flip a coin here. I don't know. I'll take the Bruins on the road by a score of 3-2.
3-2, Mr. Nata for the Bruins.
But I
All
can
right.
easily see LA.
We almost saying about the score, but I go with the overtime Boston Bruins, Mr. Nata tonight. Pasternak is going to score for the Boston Bruins to conclude this game. It's going to be the second last of co-play tonight, Mr. Nata.
Possibly.
Yeah, possibly about that one over there. Mr. Natap, we're going to go to the next graphic about this. What are you looking for tonight?
I'm looking for this coach.
Team Canada.
Canada, all the way.
All the way.
Let's bring it home, baby. Bring it home.
All right.
It should be a great game.
What do you expect? What will be the final score?
I'm going to go with 5-3 for Canada.
5-3 Canada.
What do you expect?
We'll go 5-4 on overtime. Joshua, what score?
Ooh. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. You never know.
Here we go, Mr. Natap. Before we leave, Mr. Natap, we cannot go nowhere because we got another super chat.
Super chat.
Super chat, river, chop, chop, chop. Here we go. Super chat, Mr. Natap. Some hype, everything like that. Of course, but before we leave, we want to thank everybody to be a part of the warm-up show. We'll be back in a few minutes for the Team Canada game. But you are awesome. You are amazing. You are the best. And remember, you have greatness inside of you. Yeah, greatness inside of you. Good luck, everybody. We're back tomorrow night, normal time at 6 o'clock p.m. We thanks everybody. And, of course, have an amazing, great night. Team Canada, 6:30. Canadian Montreal, 7 o'clock. Going to follow the third period post-game after the Team Canada and the Montreal Canadian tonight. Thanks, everybody. Until the next time, be well, be healthy. Funny with not only dominate your day, funny with the dominate the first app of what, Mr. Neltap?
You're 2023.
You did it again. Have a great night, Mr. Natap.
Good night, Coach. Good night, Hockey Nation.